Hi everybody, Bethany and Ellie here. We are excited to show you our next video. Oh, yep, she's waving hi. Unscripted, I promise. I'm really excited because I got to use some of the fun things that I got for my birthday, which of course when you have two birthdays, 2 days apart, there's a lot of thank you cards to send out. So this video is showing the bulk thank you cards that we made and how they're a little bit unique. Oh, okay. You're going to show them off too. Yep, okay. Thank you. And using some of the Maker Forte stamps and stencils. And I hope you enjoy this video. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And we appreciate your support. Enjoy! Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to create thank you cards in bulk using both the Cricut and stamping techniques. So I've already loaded a thank you card template and we're going to add some text here. Add your kindness has overwhelmed us. And I'm going to, because it's not automatically centered, I'm going to center the alignment and resize it to fit on this card. Then making sure that we change it from a cut to a pen drawing. And that I select everything and align it. I'm going to center horizontally. And then we're going to attach everything together so that it draws on the actual card before we cut these out. So since I'm going to do them in bulk, I'm actually going to go ahead and make 14 of these. We're going to hit make it. I'm going to put 14 copies and hit apply. Now I don't necessarily need the same color for everything, but we'll see how many mats we spill over on. Because I'm using standard cardstock that I got from Michael's, I'm going to have to change the material size to 8.5 by 11. So that will probably change the amount of ones I can cut out all at once. Change this one. I wish they had a quick select where you could change all the mat sizes to 8.5 by 11, but maybe one day Cricut will come up with that. Just does not seem to be today. And we have one more still loading. Yep, there we go. Okay. And this is going to do the same thing to me. Looks like we have 23 cuts to make. I also wanted to show you really quick that I am using, for this font, because it's a thinner font, I am using the 0.4 tip black Cricut pen in the stylus to draw the sentiment on the inside of the card. Now that we have cut out everything, I've assembled everything into piles for all the 14 cards. Now we're going to create the sentiment. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. This is the first time I've ever used embossing powder. So, I may be doing it right, I may be doing it wrong. We are figuring it out as we go along. But the sentiment I'm going to use is the thank you from Maker Forte. It's one of the designs that they had come out with this summer. And the sentiment that we're going to use is just thank you. we're going to use the Stamparatus here from Stamp It Up. And I am going to just line it up where, just put it up in the corner here. Only need one side of the Stamparatus on, so I took the other one off already. And looks pretty centered. Let it gently go up. And then the color I picked to try is the Jim Holtz Distress Oxide Seedless Preserves. You can see that. Thought it looked cute, so we're gonna try it. And the stamp, I've noticed, it's not a full solid color, which is fine, because we're gonna do embossing with that. So let's go ahead and stamp that down, get it nice and on there. So you'll see there's little bits here, especially on the A, that don't seem to quite go all the way through. I'm going to see if I can darken it a little bit more. May not get much more than that, but kind of gives you a little bit more of a distressed look, which is pretty cool. I like it. Alright, so have this little station here. We're going to use the Wow White Pearl Embossing Powder. And just tap a little bit on. I had my fan going earlier when I was doing a test run, and it was pretty entertaining because all of a sudden this embossing powder starts flying across. I'm like, oh, alright, yep, it's summer, but maybe I should turn the fan off. So I learned my lesson with that. Don't have your fan going when you're trying to put embossing powder. Alright, and I'll just tap that all off. Make sure there's a nice coat there. Alright, set that aside. I just have a folded piece of cardstock. I don't think I'll ever use this color yellow. Maybe I will, maybe I won't, but I'm just going to use it as my scrap paper today. Alright, make sure you cover that. Now I have the Wow Embossing Powder specific heat gun, but I was going to use my old heat gun, and my old heat gun decided to die recently, so that's just not going to work. But I'm going to turn it on high for the sake of getting this done quickly. And at an angle. You can start seeing when it becomes a little bit more wet. And there we go. Changes pretty quickly. Alright, looks pretty even. Didn't take too long. And so then I'm just going to set that aside. It looks pretty cool, nice and pearlized. I'm going to set aside and let it finish drying while I create the rest of these really quick. So now that I have all of the sentiments embossed, I'm going to play around with the background for the front. I've already picked out a stencil that I liked, and I'm going to try an ombre effect with it. The nice thing about this stencil that I found, it has these little lines, so it helps you line it up pretty consistently. It's not 100% foolproof, but at least you'll get things as nicely lined up. And then I'm going to just start with a little bit of the pink, my brush, get nice. even amount on there and just start blending in. With stencils, it doesn't have to be exact. I'm more looking for a distressed look anyways, but these brushes are nice for blending that I've seen so far. If you push a little too hard, you will smudge a little bit, but at least I'm getting the effect I'm looking for. And not all stenciling needs to be exact. That's the one thing I've learned with stencils. And we're going to use a little bit of wilted violet here too. Just realized that I have the large brush head for the small ink pad and the small brush head for the large ink pad. Yeah. Can you tell I need sleep? Can you tell I'm in my 3rd trimester? I'm ready to get my brain back. The other thing is, because this is a lot of geometric shapes, it's kind of hard to do a regular blend technique, but I'm kind of patting it down a little bit while also doing a little swish mark, or a little swish motion. And it doesn't have to be exact though. I'm just kind of going for the effect of it, not necessarily needing perfection. Alright. So let's see what we have. Not too bad. It's not super ombre, but it's what I was going for. So another stencil I'm going to use is the Maker Forte. It's kind of a geometric little rounded square, circle, geometric pattern. But I had seen them do something really cool, and so I wanted to show you what I'm going to do with it. Loosely having it here. There's no real, you have to have it a certain place because it's an A2 card. But basically you just do one color. So, and I'm not trying to fill in everything completely just to get the shadowing and effect of it. At least making sure that all the spots are filled. So the one nice thing I like about making thank you cards and invites in bulk is I have a tendency to make every single one of them just slightly different and unique. So now I'm going to take this up and then I'm going to move it up just a hair. Again, doesn't have to be exact, but roughly there. And then I'm going to tape it back down. And I'm going to use my other color. So, funny story, when I had my baby shower for my first little one, I decided to make all of the baby shower cards from scratch. Designed it in Cricut, and then the assembly and the piecing and the layering and using a piece of twine to create this vine look. It was intensive, and I don't know how many I made, but it was intensive. But the cool thing is, no single one of them was like any of the other ones. So, now you can see, now that I've taken it off, it kind of gives you a funny geometric pinwheel-ish looking, well, it's not pinwheels, but it's a different kind of background texture. I thought that was a pretty cool stencil, use of the stencil. So I'm going to make a bunch more, and I will see you here shortly. Alright, it is time to assemble. So basically, taking the face of the card, holding together, and then folding out that crease that we scored with the Cricut, and then using a tape runner, just going to grab one of these and make sure all of the corners are down. It looks good. And then just grabbing a couple of foam tape from this lovely Dollar Tree find. And there you have that look. So you didn't get to see this, but off screen, when I loaded all of these cards in, I just randomly switched colors for the base, for the front, backing. The only one I kept the same was this little sentiment tag that I created. But the goal was to just have something a little bit different for each card to make it even more unique. And that is how you make 14 unique thank you cards in an afternoon's time.